What's up, guys? Dr. Anthony Lopez here with this week's Talk About It Tuesday. This week we're going to be talking with Dr. Brennon Kelly here. He's going to be talking to us a little bit more about his experience with chiropractic and also sharing some little bits of wisdom with us this week. So, actually from Lafayette, Louisiana. Now, I'm not going to go into all of his backstory. I'm actually going to let him share some of that with us today. With that, Dr. Brennon, happy to have you, brother.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So I think the first thing that I think would be really valuable for our listeners out there is just telling us a little bit about you and your background, and just where you're from and everything.
Sure. So grew up in Lafayette, Louisiana. Played sports year round and was a big athlete growing up. Played sports in high school. Even had an opportunity to play football at the Division III level in college at Millsaps in Jackson, Mississippi. So I got some ties to Mississippi as well. And throughout high school and college, I never really was exposed to chiropractic care. I had a couple of friends whose dads or moms were chiropractors, and so I was aware of the profession, but not the details on what the goals were or what they were truly there to accomplish. I guess I just considered it as a alternative approach to addressing aches and pains. When I was in college, I had my roommate. His dad was a chiropractor on the Gulf Coast. And he became a bit of a mentor to me. And as I considered the profession further, potentially pursuing it, I started shadowing. And one of the main things I noticed was that the energy in the chiropractic office was very different than some of the other professional settings that I had been shadowing at the time. I was interested in health and wellness and optimal human performance and things like that. And so naturally I was thinking, pre-med, become a doctor, help people, that thought process. I was stronger in biology and some of those things, so I had an interest in it, so I wanted to pursue that. I noticed that in the some of the medical settings that I had shadowed, orthopedic practice, family practice, general medicine, most of the people there were there because they were sick or they were hurt, in pain. They were, not too far gone, but definitely had a lot of cards stacked against them. And it seemed like the mindset around addressing some of these issues wasn't right. It wasn't
to get to the cause, right?
Yeah,
it wasn't to get to the cause.
Yeah, it wasn't really a success mindset. It was really just trying to make people more comfortable, which is honorable. But I wanted something more.
Right.
When I shadowed the chiropractic setting, I noticed that people wanted to be there, and people who were sick were there getting well, but there was also well people there who were optimizing their human experience, and that's what really piqued my interest, because it started to open my eyes to the possibilities beyond addressing aches and pains, but truly optimizing human performance. And so that's when I started hearing testimonies of people who were improving with digestive function, sleeping better mood, better outlook on life, less stress, less anxiety, mental health improvements, reproductive health improvement. And I was like, whoa, this chiropractic thing goes way deeper. And then, we all learned that chiropractors were licensed because of how well they did addressing immune system challenges during the Spanish flu pandemic in the early 1900s. So really none of this started with back pain. It all started with human performance. And so when that came full circle, I knew right away that that's what I wanted to pursue as a career, and that's what I wanted to use as a vehicle to help people.
Yeah. That's awesome. And what Dr. Brennon just said there is huge. Chiropractic didn't start with treating back pain. It actually started with someone having their hearing restored after the very first adjustment, right? And everything just kind of spurred from that and was birthed from that. And now we find ourselves, in this day and age where most of the time when you think of chiropractic, most people think of us as neck pain, back pain, when in reality, we're just optimizing the expression of life and health within. And that's the beautiful thing about it. I appreciate you sharing all of that. You even kind of went into a little bit about what led you into chiropractic, which was actually going to be my next question. But hey, you've already answered it, which is great. So we appreciate that.
Yeah.
Because it gives everybody kind of an idea of what led you into where you're at today, right? And I think it's always important to see the journey, because honestly, most people, I think, find themselves in jobs that they don't like, or in career fields that they don't like. They're not passionate about it, And a lot of times it's because they never really had a why as to, why they went into that field in the first place.
Can I add to that?
Sure.
So like you saying, some people getting into a field that maybe they love or they have an interest in, and then they fall out of love with that once they realize kind of, what that daily grind looks like. For me, I decided to pursue chiropractic schooling when it was really just an interest. I didn't fall in love, with chiropractic until I was in it and actually seeing what it would do for people and even for myself. One of the things that I noticed that I really thought was cool was how families living what we call chiropractic lifestyle, which is, staying active, reducing toxins, prioritizing sleep and stress management, getting adjusted regularly regardless of how the body may feel, and completely eliminating as much as possible the use of drugs and surgery to the point where it almost becomes extreme. I have to keep myself in check because I'm like, okay, there's a time and a place. I'm the first one to just say no to it, even when I'm, you may need it type of thing. But I noticed that the people who are not constantly taking drugs, medications, were healthier. And so I started I became interested in that. I wanted to see I wanted to connect the dots. Why were these people who refused all of this medical intervention actually healthier than all the people who had all that routine, cyclical medical intervention all the time?
Yeah, absolutely. So with that, what is like your favorite thing about chiropractic? Like if you had to just pick one thing, and I know there's a lot of things that you could probably list out, but what is your absolute most favorite thing about chiropractic care? It's
so incredible that the human body not only has a capacity to heal itself, but it does so at such a high level, and that's what we work with. That's the power we work with. That I feel like I'm already winning before I even start. Like you make a small adjustment here, you take this little stressor away, and we get tons of credit for allowing, helping people heal, helping them with this, and people say, oh, my baby, reflux, colic, won't sleep, and all this. I'm miserable. I haven't slept in weeks, and oh, you should take your baby to a chiropractor. What? And people, they're drawn back by that. But yeah, absolutely, we get to help people with in all walks of life, all ages, with just about anything, and it's because of that. It's because we're working with something that's already powerful. It already exists, and we just have to tap into that.
Absolutely. Yeah. I say we're not adding anything to the body. We're simply allowing it to do what it's already designed to do, just without any interference to the power that's within. Right? We talk about that every day in the office, and I'm sure you do as well. So with that, if you're communicating with someone, maybe someone's watching this video today, and they're kind of on the fence about whether or not they should seek out chiropractic, maybe for themselves or maybe for their child or a loved one. What would you tell that person to maybe put their minds at ease, or maybe just to give them to encourage them to maybe take that next step?
Well, I think realistically, most people, the majority of people seeking chiropractic care for the first time are going to get something addressed. There's a problem. There's something is limiting them from doing things in life, and so there's a problem, and they're trying to get that addressed. Well, there's several different ways to address the problem. You certainly don't want to ignore it, but why not start with the easiest approach first?
Right.
Like chiropractic, you've got nothing to lose other than maybe spending 10 minutes in an office. To me, like you said, we don't put anything into the body that's toxic, that could produce side effects or other harmful issues. So, that's not there. We don't take anything out of the body that's supposed to be there. So it's not like you're going to walk out with less than what you had when you walked in. And it's so safe and effective that if you just look at the malpractice premiums, my annual premium for malpractice every year is less than $1,000, and that's for that's $1 million, $2 million in like incident and total coverage for some crazy incident that could potentially happen. And I think one of the reasons that people may hesitate to go to a chiropractor is because of sensationalized news headlines that are really misleading and don't tell the full story. When you look at the data, it's so safe that insurers, we know insurance guys, it's a numbers game for them. It's just facts and numbers, and so if it was truly a risk to see a chiropractor,
Malpractice numbers would be through the roof.
We'd be paying, an arm and a leg. I want to say an OBGYN pays somewhere in the 6-figure range for malpractice annually. I might need to fact check on that. But my point being that you have nothing to lose and everything to gain. And so most people we will be able to help. And the people who we can't, we're going to connect them to where they need to go. So either way, it's a win-win situation.
Absolutely. Yeah. I liken it a lot of times to, like a cell phone, right? And I've heard a speaker say this before at a conference, but, if you go and buy a cell phone, right, you predominantly need that cell phone to be able to interact with people, to be able to call people, to be able to maybe text, communicate with them in that way. But you have all of these other features these days. Like we're recording this video on a cell phone right now. You can play games on your cell phone. You can take notes on your cell phone. You can create your whole calendar for your entire year on your cell phone. You have all of these things that you can do, but the ultimate reason that you initially got the phone was just so that you could communicate with people. But now you have all these other features that come along with that. And chiropractic's very similar in that way. So let's say last question. If someone, wanted to come and see you in your office, let's say, they're watching this video and they have family that lives in your area, what would be the best way for them to go about scheduling an appointment to see you?
Sure. So if you Google us, RISE Chiropractic, of course, the one in Louisiana, there's a few spread across the country, but we're in Broussard, Louisiana. Okay. You give us a call on that listing, on the Google listing, and one of the gals will pick up and find the quickest way to get you in. Or you can even go on our website, riseacadiana.com, so RISEACADIANA, riseacadiana.com, and you can request an appointment. It's like the first thing you see when it pops up.
Awesome.
Yep.
Well, Dr. Brennon, it's been a pleasure. I know that someone watching this video out there has gotten some great value from the words that you've spoken today. Thank you for being a great friend and a great chiropractor. We'll look forward to seeing you on a future video as well.
You betcha.
All right, guys, that's all we have for this one. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next one. Hey, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in to another Talk About It Tuesday. I hope that you've enjoyed them so far and that you're getting some value from it. I also hope that you're liking, following our page, sharing the videos to people that you love and that you care about, because people need this message and they don't have it. There's people all around the world that have no idea what chiropractic does, and it's a shame. And we have the power to change that at our fingertips each and every day. So let's share, like these videos. Let's blow up social media with this message so more people can experience the power that exists within the body when it's clear and connected to do what it's supposed to do. So again, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any future videos, and I will see you guys in the next one.